Okay, guys, so as you can see, um, I was showing you from that dream from last summer in 2019. The Lord was giving me more insight that when this thing happens, they're going to be lying to us. They're going to lie to us about where it actually started from, where it came from. They're even going to be lying about how it's spreading and multiplying. And if I just saw on the news today where they're saying that the disease is spreading and multiplying and tripling in China, yet they have everything locked down and they're under martial law, and like it's no one, barely anyone out in the city. There's no one barely traveling. Everyone is quarantining to their homes. So if it's person to person transmission and everybody is quarantine and indoors and not out in public touching each other and coming into contact with each other, why would the numbers be increasing and going up? You would think as you continue to take those measures to lessen the public interaction that the numbers should be going down, but it's actually getting worse. So that story in itself, I'll include that video in the description box on the news where they say it's getting worse, even though we're taking better and better precautions and locking everyone down and separating everyone. And so even that one story in itself fulfills the prophecy as it comes to pass about them lying about how it's spreading and where it came from. I think their original story was it came from the market, something stupid like that. Which, I mean, many of you probably already assumed that it was not true. And now we have the Holy Spirit from years ago confirming for us that no, that's not true. It's a lie. But anyway, I wanted to touch on one other thing before I close this video out. I wanted to reveal a mystery. There's a mystery revealed and kind of go through that mystery. It's so amazing going back in time and back in history through my previous channel and my ministry at all of the things that the Lord was really illustrating for us that would come to pass in the near future. And so, see this yellow biohazard video down there? I showed it to you guys before. That was a year ago. Now look up here at this one above it, and it says an evil eclipse. Okay, warning about an evil eclipse. This is off the topic, but guys, just pan over and look right here. Guess who that is? And this is from 2 years ago. Remember I told you how they don't update the proper timing? I'm not going to open it, but this is from 2 years ago, guys. Guess who this is? We all know her and see her all over TV now. This is Greta. However you pronounce her last name, um, the little global warming puppet that they have, that little girl, Greta. I think her last name is Thunberg. This is her, guys. This is how accurate and powerful the Holy Spirit was illustrating the future through my ministry. Okay, but anyway, let's get back on topic. That was just a little side note I wanted to show you guys. But anyway, let's take a peek over here. See this video? This is from 2 years ago, and see how the church is burning at the top. Remember in France last summer that ended up happening to the top of, what was the church called? The cathedral, the really famous one, Notre Dame, and it burned. This video was made 2 years before that event happened. But anyway, let's get back on topic. I was starting off with the biowarfare. And then an evil eclipse. And then let's keep going. See what else we can dig up from the past. Okay. This is what I want to see, this right here. Interesting tidbits with the blood moons. And look in the center. It's like a lunar eclipse in the middle. This is where I first started noticing the pattern that the Lord was trying to tell us something. And then that's when I went into the plagues. And I said it was a pattern linking lunar events and eclipses to plagues and diseases breaking out on Earth. And look at how, like I said, remember, I also had a dream of an evil eclipse. Let's continue, see what else we can find. So look at these titles, as I showed you before. Notice in the videos where I'm warning about this plague that I'm also mentioning blood moons. See, blood moons, Obama, and vaccines. Let's go to the other ones. Now look at this, guys. I have a video regarding the new moon. Look at all the phases of the moon, but I'm particularly highlighting something about the new moon confirmations. Let's look at this. I'll come back to that if I have time, but in here it's talking about the new year and war, and we're getting close. Now remember what I shared to you before in part 1 and 2 was that the Lord gave me the timing for this outbreak and virus is going to be linked to the timing where they try to start World War III. So war and the plague are connected as far as timeline. So here we have the new moon. Keep that in mind, new moon. And then I have this one, the new year. Okay. Now let's keep going. Keep going. Okay. Let's look at this one. Contagion. Warning. Blood moon mystery. Ebola warning. Blood moon mystery. Okay, so it was something about that blood moon pattern that I kept repeating over and over. And look at this one with the eye that we know predicted the coronavirus, because I already showed you that. Because it's transferred and transmitted through the eye. Okay, blood moon warning. Okay, so there's some sort of connection with eclipses, lunar events, blood moons, new moons, and the new year. Okay, that's what's being spelled out for us. Now, let's take a look. The Holy Spirit finally revealed the mystery of why he kept having me bring up the moons in regards to the virus. I already showed in those videos when I produced them, I went back and showed proof that as those blood moons and lunar eclipses or signs were occurring, we had the rise of these different viruses that are hitting the earth. First it was a flu, then it was Ebola, then it was the return of Ebola, and through each of those instances of outbreaks, we had a lunar event also correlating with it, so it was like an omen or a sign. Now I'm going to show you the Lord finally revealed this mystery. Guys, guess what just occurred? It started on like the 24th or the 25th, the Chinese New Year 2020, right? Now, look at this. What is the Chinese New Year? It's connected to their Lunar New Year, right? Now, let's look at some headlines. Coronavirus makes for dismal, meaning sad, Lunar New Year for Wuhan, China. Fight against Wuhan coronavirus complicated. Let's click that. It's complicated by what? The Lunar New Year, because of travelers from outside of China. So here they're saying that they're having trouble fighting the virus and it's becoming complicated. Put it this way, guys, because that holiday on the Lunar New Year occurred, the Chinese New Year, we had people from all around the world coming into China to celebrate it. And then also, since they weren't from China when the holiday was over or when the virus hit, we had a whole bunch of people trying to travel, which they did travel, going back home to America. So in essence, this holiday literally perpetuated the spread of the virus, and this holiday is actually what led to people from all over the world coming into contact with it and then bringing it home to their own countries in the United States, in Europe, around the world. So this holiday, the New Year and the Lunar New Year, was the whole reason of why they had such trouble with quarantining everything down properly and getting a head start on trying to stop the virus, because it was so chaotic with these people and travelers from all around the world coming into China and trying to leave China, and there's still people who went there for the New Year who are still trapped there from all over the world. So, what does that tell us? Let's look at another one. China to extend Lunar New Year holidays because of the what? Wuhan virus. So this virus actually had its peak outbreak when? During the Lunar New Year. China coronavirus Lunar New Year subdued as outbreak continues. Fear of virus ruins happiest day for millions of Chinese. Guys, this is their most important holiday in that culture. The entire year is the Chinese New Year and the Lunar New Year. Okay? So, let's tie this all in together because the mystery has been solved. What the Lord was highlighting with all of these warnings, new moon. See how I had all the phases and then the full moon? The new moon and the full moon are the same thing, just in case you don't know, and I'll show you in a minute. The reason why he had me continuously warning about the virus and also blood moons, which are just eclipses, okay? There's a different type of eclipse. Lunar events, eclipses, and new moons in the new year. The reason why he had me tie that in together is because when the actual virus, the actual fulfillment of the virus he was speaking of in this prophecy, it was going to occur during a significant lunar event, which turned out to be the Lunar New Year, or the Chinese New Year in China. Mystery is solved. That's what he was trying to get across to us. And as you can see, the phases of the moon, see the new moon right here? It's blackened and darkened out. That's when we have the new moon. So that's what they had that marks the Chinese New Year. Is when the new moon happens and the whole thing is blacked out. Visually, it looks like an eclipse. It's scientifically not an eclipse, but if you just look at it, it's the same thing as an eclipse because the moon is blackened out and you can't see it. So it gives the impression that it's a lunar eclipse. Okay? See it right here, how it looks like a blackened sackcloth eclipse moon, new moon symbol in calendars. I even said that in one of my videos that it doesn't have to be scientifically a blood moon or an eclipse. That can also just visually look like one, and it can also be linked to the timing of when these things were going to come to pass. And so here we have, finally, the blood moon eclipse, lunar event, lunar eclipse, new moon, full moon, Lunar New Year mystery, finally revealed by the Holy Spirit and solved, because he was trying to tell us that this virus was the ultimate fulfillment of this virus in the prophecy was going to arrive and be linked. And as we can see, it's not just linked, but it also was made worse by this lunar event and holiday, which was the new moon and full moon. Let's look at this right here from the chart in my video, and then look at the description of a new moon. It's the same exact thing right here. Okay? So, I just had to share that with you guys because it was so amazing, and I'm happy that mystery is finally solved. So here we have, not only was the Holy Spirit warning about it, illustrating it to us, prophesying it to us, warning us, but actually was encoded in mystery around the exact same time frame and what would be happening on the earth when it came to pass. Okay? Not just the attempted start of World War III in Iraq, but also that it would occur during a significant new moon lunar event. God bless you guys. I will see you later. And may the Lord continue to bless and guide you guys.